My name is Duncan Weller. I'm primarily a writer and illustrator of children's picture books. I also write stories for adults, working on a novel for adults, got a couple young adult novels on the go, poetry book, maybe another one coming up, and also a visual artist, so I have art shows every once in a while. It was a slow development. Getting into artwork was a slow development. It started with doing comic books. I remember distinctly when I was trying to draw the Pink Panther, and I wanted to see if I could draw it without looking at the picture, to coming up with I stopped doing comics and stuff for a long time, and then when in university they asked me to do a strip. So I came up with Hardball and Riley. I needed something that was easy to draw because I needed time to study and study for exams and write essays and this kind of thing. So I came up with these two little ball characters. I couldn't stop doing detail, so I did these incredibly elaborate backgrounds and came up with this really weird contrast of simple cartoons with realistic humans in the background. And some people loved it and some people hated it. So I started with the cartoons, and yeah, in high school, I would, for every painting that another student would do, I would do like 3 and sometimes 5 paintings. We'd be given the boards and I'd just paint away like mad. And that just sort of progressed until a supplies teacher for the art class said one day, you should be an artist. So I kept it in the back of my mind, and when I went to university, I thought, oh, maybe taking fine arts would be good. But I took 1 year of fine arts, and what they taught was mostly contemporary art, or at the time they called it modern art or abstract painting. Yeah, it wasn't really my thing, so I wanted to explore my own ideas, and with what they were teaching, it was more you had to do this. And anytime someone tells you you have to do something, you want to reject it. So I switched to English literature and studied that instead, which helped later for the children's books for sure. I can't remember when I got specifically into children's books. I remember I was about 17 and somebody asked me at a party one time, what are you going to do in the future? What are you going to do when you graduate from school? And I remember thinking, nah, maybe I'll do kids' books. And whoever the friend was said, yeah, you'd probably be good at that. So I had that in the back of my mind. Oh, there was an art show I saw that, I believe it was Ian Wallace. And he's not a bad illustrator, but when I saw his work, I thought, I think I could do better, which is a terrible thing to say. But I thought, well, if he's doing all right, maybe I could do that too. And if he's considered sort of the top illustrator in Canada, I thought, well, you know, maybe there's money in this. And later I discovered how hard it was, but that was partly the inspiration. And then it was more about, if you wanted to say something, you could layer meaning in a story. If you used visuals and text, you could say more than just one thing. So for example, if you think of a political cartoon, every single page of a children's book in the visuals could say something, or a bit of an add-on to what was said in the text. My personal favorite work is usually, yeah, it's pretty much the next book, you know, what I'm working on now or what's coming up. So I can't wait to get into The Girl from the Moon, which is a companion piece to The Boy from the Sun. The book that I worked the longest on and I thought would sell millions of copies was Nightwall. I spent like 5 years working on the illustrations and the story and did all the research and photography for it and created all these original monsters and everything for the book. And unfortunately, the publisher I had, it got no reviews, it got no press, and it just sort of died. I guess I'd have to say that was one of my favorites, but the next one is one I'm always thinking about more than the past. Part of the idea of being an artist in general is you're protesting something. You want things to change. And to want things to change, you have to make statements. But I'm kind of fighting in a certain way some ideologies that I disagree with. But I don't know how much influence you can have as a children's book author. But it's more about entertaining the kids first. If you can't entertain them, there's no point in having any message. And so sometimes the message gets dulled down in favor of just making sure it's a good book. And if I can get a message across them, then that's awesome.